Hi divers, I hope you enjoyed that little bit of sea hunt. This is Alec Peirce, Alec Peirce Scuba, Sea Hunt Remembered. And I showed that little bit of sea hunt because that is probably the most common, the best known piece of the entire episode. Every episode started exactly the same way. Mike Nelson, ex-Navy frogman, now a commercial diver, underwater investigator, standing on the dock, looking out over the ocean, pulls on his hood, and reaches down for his commercial mask and puts his commercial mask on, ready to go out there and do some of the famous things he does. Well, what's that got to do with sea hunt, my sea hunt collection? Well, it's because I have that mask. That's right. This is the mask. Now, let me be perfectly clear, as I've explained some other times, or some of the other sea hunt equipment that I have. These pieces of equipment are the same pieces of equipment that Mike Nelson used in the Sea Hunt series. Sadly, and people ask me this all the time, sadly, all of the scuba equipment is gone. The suits were completely destroyed. They were pretty much destroyed during the episodes. Maybe I'll do a short thing on the suits, Kevin, because that's pretty interesting about those silver suits. They were painted. I don't know if you knew that. Actually painted with paint. Now, anyway, gone. The tanks and rigs and so on, most of that was supplied by Voight or by local dive stores as required, and it all went back to their proper owners afterwards. So almost all of the equipment that was actually used on Sea Hunt is gone, long gone. There's one item in particular that still exists, and it was Lloyd's, and it was given to his son, Lloyd Bridges, who you undoubtedly know, famous actor, Oscar winner, and he wears it proudly to this day, and occasionally mentions that it belonged to his dad, but it's gone. So when I say that this is the mask that Mike Nelson wore on the Sea Hunt series, what I mean is this is the same mask. And you can see there's a little bit, this is not a scuba diving mask, no, this is a commercial diving mask. This mask actually was invented by the fellow by the name of Jack Browne, Browne with an E on it. 1937 this mask first came out. So by the time Sea Hunt started, 1958, it did change a little bit because there are different versions, you know, things improve over a period of time. And interestingly enough, this mask is still made, still available, a different version of it, a modern version of it. It's not exactly the same as this, but still. So this Jack Browne commercial diving mask, or Navy mask if you like, same thing, has been around for a long, long time, since the 30s, and right up until now. Almost be 100 years old pretty soon. Pretty unique mask. Piece of glass in the front. The mask itself, the entire frame, is made of brass. Poured brass. So you can get in here close, Kevin. I don't know if you can get in there. Can you get in here nice and close? Right in here. Can you see this? Can you see how the glass is held by the brass frame? And this is actually brass. And then there's a rubber skirt back here that is molded on top of the brass to hold it in place. It's pretty neat. So the whole mask is actually made of brass. On the right-hand side, just as today with scuba diving, the right-hand side, you have your air supply. The air supply hose comes in here, and it usually comes from the surface. Occasionally they wore this mask with a tank, but even the tank usually had a surface supply as well. The tank was for emergency purposes, and you could turn the air off and on with a tap. It was like a garden tap, doesn't it? A garden water tap. And there was a finer control up here to control the flow of air. One of the nice things about this mask is, I don't know if you can see inside there, Kevin. Can you see that hole inside? In there? That's where the air came out. Why is that good? Well, because it washes right across the face. This mask never fogged up, which is good, because it was very difficult to clear this mask. And if it got fogged up, almost impossible to get it clean. You couldn't really just let water in and swish it around because it was almost impossible to get the water out. But that was kind of a nice feature of, and it still is a feature of most commercial diving masks, that the airflow blows across the glass and keeps it nice and clear. I wish we had that in scuba diving, huh? And then on the other side over here, Kevin, you can see a hole on this side, that big hole, and that's where the exhaled air. So when you sucked in, drew in, air came in on this side from the airline, and then it blew out through this big hole. And on the outside, you can see this brass exhaust. Underneath this brass plate, there's a, pretty much like we have today in modern second stage regulators, just a valve, a rubber valve that lets the air out but closes when you suck in to keep the water out of the mask. It's just about that simple. It really is a fairly simple piece of apparatus. Now, it was held on a little differently than our modern scuba mask. Our modern scuba mask usually had a single strap goes around your head. This was held on by what's commonly been called a spider strap. And you see why it's called a spider strap. not like a web, but you see it has rubber rings and then 5 rubber straps that connect to those rubber rings. And the mask goes on. Well, you just watched Mike put it on. I don't have to do it for you. Over your head like so. And then you pull the straps tight around. There's a strap that goes over the top of your head, which you pull here, straps on each side, and straps on the bottom. And you pull this whole thing snug to your head. Right in the middle of the back of your head, there's this rubber ring which stretches a bit and holds it on tightly. And that was done this way for a couple of reasons. First of all, this mask is very heavy. I'm going to guess that this mask weighs 4 or 5 pounds at least. Not like a modern mask, it weighs a couple of ounces. Also, it's attached to a hose, so there's a little bit of drag on it occasionally, there's a little bit of pulling on it occasionally. So this strap keeps it firmly in place. And again, as I mentioned, you do not want this mask to get water in it. Very, very difficult to clear the water out. You don't necessarily drown, but if you got a lot of water in this mask and couldn't get it out, that would in fact be what could happen. If you were very good at it, you could increase the airflow and blow that water out, but it was a tricky operation. So you want the mask to fit well and stay in your face. So I thought I would show that to you, folks. I call this part of my Sea Hunt collection. It wasn't used on Sea Hunt, this one. Mike Nelson never wore this one. But this is the same mask that was used on Sea Hunt. And as I have with many, many pieces of equipment, because people want to see this stuff. I have spear guns that Mike Nelson, the same one he used. I have his knives, his depth gauges, his mask, the famous B4 mask is quite famous. Maybe I'll talk about that sometime. Crazy how a $6 mask, $6 in 1958, now will command $300 or $400. Only because it was used on Sea Hunt, the only reason. Now these masks, the Jack Browne masks, are still available. If you like the look of it, you can still use them. No reason why not. Pretty standard 1/4 NPT compression fitting. You can still use it today if you wanted to, or if you want to have one and hang it on the wall because it's kind of neat. Shine the brass up. Mine's a little bit dark now. They look quite beautiful. You can still buy them. And they're not terribly expensive, not new ones. They can be expensive, but you can still get these. They show up occasionally on some of the auction sites on the internet. So you can go around and just look for Jack Browne commercial diving mask, or Mike Nelson's mask. Maybe you could find it there too. I thought you'd enjoy looking at that. That's the same one you just saw in that short piece of the Sea Hunt episode. One of the most famous parts of the entire Sea Hunt episode, and there's that mask. Yes, it actually existed. And there's an example. Hope you enjoyed that. If you have some questions about it, give me a call. If you can't find one, if you'd like to, give me a call. I know a lot of my friends and fellow Sea Hunt nuts have these, and occasionally they come up for sale as well. I'll be happy to help if I can. Hope you enjoyed that. Alec Peirce, Sea Hunt Remembered. Take care.